Welcome to a Limitless era podcast. Limitless. I fucking had a seizure. Don't try this at home or the plane or never, actually, please.
Ooh, good question.
And we were both like, hey, hey, hey.
It's my life. What you gonna do about it? Yeah.
Please get my passport. I really want to do this podcast. Just imagine how it would feel if you would break totally free from anything, having no restrictions, being able to live today, love tomorrow, and unite forever. It would feel
Limitless?
limitless. Of course. In this podcast, we have a very, very special guest today. One of my closest friends and first people I've really been able to pour my soul in a way.
Almost literally.
Someone I've been working with for the last 8 to 9 months or so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Close to a year by now, I think.
Yeah.
8, 9 months, 10 maybe.
And we've been through a lot already. And
Yeah.
It's yeah. So Dogukan K, right? Like yeah. Or how I would like to call you actually, Mr. Positive.
Mr. Positive. Yeah. Always trying to stay positive. Always trying to make the best out of every situation. Yeah. That's a good thing to call me, I guess, Mr. Positive. I'd rather be called Mr. Positive instead of Mr. Negative.
Fair enough. Fair enough. How come that you're always that positive?
Because what you give attention, that grows. Like if you keep giving attention to negativity, there will only come up like more negativity. This is going bad, that's going bad, and this and that. But if some negativity happens, of course, we're humans, but if you try to direct that towards positivity and it happened maybe for a good reason, because after rain, sunshine comes, if you keep just giving attention to like the positivity, probably the positivity will grow and people feel that energy. Mm-hmm. And because of that energy, people want to interact with you and they want to like have a conversation with you and be positive because of your energy. So
yeah,
positivity is the key, man.
I certainly agree with that as well. And I think we're aligning on that part a lot. Like we were at a beach club in Bali.
Yeah.
At Fins. It's so funny because when I'm at a beach club or festival, whatever, I'm always like just dancing in the middle and then talking to that person and that person and that person, right? Connecting with everyone.
Yeah.
But often when I'm with people, they're more like just with the people we are with, right?
Yeah.
And now I was with you dancing and partying and we were both like, hey, hey, hey. We like made a whole circle of friends in like a couple of minutes.
Hey, meet this guy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. People just feel your energy, man. And that sometimes even if you don't go talk to people, only the energy attracts people to you. Like, hey, man, it looks like you're having fun. Or, hey, look at your smile, man. You're having a good time. Yeah, bro, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Have you always been this positive?
Good question. No, I don't think so. I've really tried to teach myself to be positive. One of my best friends, who's actually living in Sweden now, he got married there. He's also like super Mr. Positive. I think even maybe more than me.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I need to meet that guy.
yeah. And he had like a very good influence on me as a friend as well. Like sometimes I was like a little bit stressing and he was like, hey man, Doki, don't stress. It's life, it happens. You're not dying. Nothing crazy happens. Nothing crazy happens to your family. It'll come, it'll go, it'll pass. Like, and even sometimes I asked him like, how are you with that mindset? And he's like, because having the negative mindset don't bring you anywhere positive. I was like, holy shit, man, makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
And yeah, and he's already like one of my best friends for, I would say, almost 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just being around with that guy. I was positive myself at that time. Like I was making jokes and having like friends and stuff like that. But he just kind of elevated my positive mindset. Like not my positive behavior, but my positive mindset.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. Cool. It's funny to say that because this morning I was writing for the Limitless Cell course, and I was writing about the live today part, and um, I was writing about like the core value live today, and how you can implement that as the course. So I wrote down 2 examples. So live today means like the journey is the destination. So everything we are experiencing and achieving is happening for a reason, and we're using that to turn it into more positivity. So there were 2 examples. One is like, oh, I had a bad week because something happened, and now I'm really feeling tired and don't wanna continue with working in the course or whatever. And the other example is, I had a really bad week. I reflected on it, and I used it to get more energy out of it and push myself further.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit like what you have experienced lately.
Like last week, you mean?
Maybe that's nice to share.
Yeah. So, yeah, last week, as you know, I was in Malaysia and combined that trip with Singapore. And I was really living in the moment because I was just having 1 week there, and it's a pretty big country, which I found out later because at that time I thought like, oh, it's a small country, I can do this in 3 days. Well, that wasn't the case. So I was really like getting like the maximum out of it, which ended up me neglecting and ignoring some of the other priorities, which were like future related, like maybe work or family or stuff like that, because I was like so much living in the moment, like live today, because I'm only here for a week. And then having a good conversation with you was just a wake up call for me. Like, okay, you know, obviously you need to enjoy the moment, but not so much that you do not do almost anything anymore. And that was like, okay, you know what? Now I have the enjoyment part. And honestly, I'm still like 50-50 in the enjoyment part because it's like the last week of the year almost and still in Dubai. But it was a wake up call like, okay, I'm already getting back in the grind mode. And yeah, just fired up already.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. And that's what I mean, like, right? So instead of being like, oh, fuck, I fucked up, and now I'm gonna fuck up even further, right? Because that's all, at least often what I did in the past, right?
Me too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, right? Then you fuck up, you're like, I can better than fuck up my entire year, right?
Yeah, we're fucked anyway, so fuck it.
Or when you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 times, and you miss 1 time, I gotta fuck the rest of the time, right?
I try again next week.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And now what we both seem to do is, instead of that, we're like, okay, I fucked up. Okay, accept it. I take responsibility. I know I fucked up. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's turn it around. Let's turn it around. Turn it into more power and make the best out of it. Like make a comeback, make bounce back.
Yeah. That's very important. And I also need to say, like, if you kind of need maybe a day or 2 or 3 to take the feeling of responsibility, which ends up you bouncing back, then take that time. It's not like, hey, I need to fix myself in 1 hour because now I realize that I fucked up. No, if you need, take 2-3 days. If that ends up you being fired up for 3-4 months, then take the 2-3 days. Just relax. Don't pressure yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Because when you bounce back, you want to bounce back stronger and better, and not like, I need to bounce back because I need to bounce back, but because I want to bounce back.
Yeah, totally. I believe that has a lot to do with the responsibility.
Yeah.
taking responsibility and daring to take responsibility, because for us, for example, something I had troubles with, like taking full responsibility. It was more like, okay, I could have kind of did that better, instead of like I fucked up. I just being totally honest that Dan, you just didn't do your best, right? And since I made that switch, it's so much easier to bounce back, because you just look at yourself, be like, you fucked up. You just totally fucked up. Be honest. And it's okay, because next time we'll do it better.
Well, I always took like some form of responsibility, but that was combined with ego and pride. So like I fucked up, so what? Like it's my life. What you gonna do about it? Yeah, I did fucked up. So what? What you gonna do about it? But that's not the correct way of responsibility. Like so now it's like okay, it's like analyzing the fuck up. You know?
How much did I fuck up?
Okay, I did a fucked up. My responsibility. What am I going to do to make the fuck up better, or don't fuck up the next time? Instead of I did it. So what? What you gonna do about it? My life. You know, that was me taking responsibility.
That's like taking responsibility because you kind of want to take responsibility, but not really take it.
Yeah. So I think you have different ways of taking responsibility, and the correct one is just like be honest with yourself and be like not in an emotional vibe, but in an analyzing vibe. Like, what did I do? How could I do better?
Yeah, for me it really helps to like really look in the mirror and just looking at your own soul, and just like be totally honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Because like you can't lie.
No.
If you're like that honest with yourself, looking in the mirror in your eyes, like if you're able to lie at that moment, then you might have a different problem.
No man, if I do that, I get distracted. I look in the mirror, I'm like, who is this handsome guy? It's like, oh wait, that's not man. No, I'm joking.
Oh shit, man! Yeah, I totally have to do it all the time. Yeah. Like reflections. Oh wow.
Yeah. Like when you poke past the mirror and then you take a step back, like, hey, do you come here often? Yeah, exactly.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
That's indeed a good way of looking yourself in your eye and accepting your fuck ups and responsibilities.
Yeah. About accepting and transferring from one life to another, what made you decide to create your own path and break free?
You know, I think I've been living with this kind of quote, and I also put it in the energy planner yesterday.
Oh shit.
I think what for me a game-changing quote was, if you're going to do the same thing every day, which you've already been doing for maybe 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, 2 months, you will probably get the same results. Like, it's simple. You do the same thing, you get the same results. It's not like something different is going to happen because you don't do anything different than what you did before. So that's for me the biggest change. Like, I took a different step in life, which gave me different results and a different network and different people and different life in general. Like last year, I hadn't like any podcast or whatever. This year, it's already my second. Like just because I took a different step.
Yeah. Okay. Totally, and it's good to elaborate like what that step is in a second. But what is then the real reason that you took this step?
Because you want to change. I wanted to change my life.
Why?
Because I've always said that I'm meant for greater stuff than just being stuck in the system, to put it like that. Like I've always felt like that since I was a young boy. People were going left and right, and I'm like, hey, I don't think I exactly fit in here because I don't see myself doing this for 10 years. I don't see myself fit in this group because I don't see myself vibing with these guys in maybe 5 years. And last year I just decided like, hey, if you want to change your life, because I always wanted that. And for me, changing my life um, was for multiple reasons. Like obviously you want to grow financially, but for me it was more the freedom feeling. Like especially now being here in Dubai, I learned that finances, it's good to have them, but it's not like the best drive to have in life because you look in one street, you see a Porsche, you're like, wow, that's an amazing. I want to have a Porsche. You look in the other street, you see a Lamborghini, like, okay, maybe I want to have the Lamborghini. You look in the other street, you see a Bugatti. So if you do it for the money, it never stops because there is always like you see the Bugatti, the other guy has a yacht. You see the yacht, the other guy has a helicopter.
Yeah.
So if you do it for the money, which was my drive before, then it will never stop. So I wanted to change my life, like in a freedom way. Like I want to travel and I want to see the world and obviously make money to be possible to do that. But that was for me like the most important one, just to be free, location free.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And maybe for context, like what was it that you did, like your best situation?
Whew, a lot. I studied bachelor tourism. I worked in a bank. I worked in a clothing store as a manager. Like I did a lot of different things, and I also tried a couple of entrepreneur other stuff. Like I invested in crypto. Well, guess what? Didn't next day I wasn't still a millionaire. So I tried a couple of things, and just rolling into this life. For me, it was like, you can try something one time, two times, and it cannot go directly the way you want, which is normal because let's say everything you do in life, you succeed the first time. Well, good, but then you don't know what failure is because you succeed all the time. And look at all the biggest entrepreneurs that are there, like for example, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Do you know these guys probably made like more wrong investments than correct investments? So I was like, I had like the mindset shift, like, okay, maybe I tried three, four things and they didn't work out, but maybe the fifth time it will, maybe the sixth time. I only need the one time that it will work and it will change my life.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and that's what happened.
Cool. So maybe it's good to share, like, what did you choose? What worked for you?
I invested in another course again. Well, and by investing in the course, I invested in myself because you have like a lot of different online money making possibilities. And a lot of them require to invest in products, in marketing, in web shops, whatever. This one required investing in myself, in my skill, in my mindset, and that's unreplaceable. Like because of the skill set that I have, I can work whenever I want, wherever I want, and I'm not depending on any trending products or any trending marketing or viral marketing. The only one I can depend on is myself and my skill set, and that's what I invested in myself.
Yeah, cool. Beautiful. Yeah. So I totally agree, of course, on that. Because it was like, when I, last 2 years, I've been traveling a lot as well, of course, to Brazil, Dubai, France, and lately in Bali. And what I found that when I arrived in Bali, I was like, wow, I never have to worry about making money again. I was like, wow, I can just always, from anywhere I want, make almost as much money as I want. Like between 8 to 16K per month, like easily. I was like, wow, that's really freeing. But what's even more freeing is that it's by doing something I like. It's by making the world a better place and by bringing people and opportunities together. And that makes it just, in one word, limitless.
Limitless. Yeah.
So for the viewers, like, what is it that you exactly do right now?
What I'm doing exactly right now, I'm in Team Limitless, and yeah, we are preparing great stuff for especially 224. And what is it exactly that I'm doing? I'm right now focusing on optimizing the qualification process of people who really want to make a change in life. Because a lot of people think that when they invest in something, whether it's financially, whether it's mentally, it doesn't matter. They're like, okay, so I have invested time in it, so now I will be rich. No, that's not really the case. So I'm looking at how we can optimize that qualification process to see if people are really a match to and also really ready to change their life. Because changing, like people want to change their life, but they are not ready to change their life.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And that's what I'm keeping myself busy with right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And how do you know, like, because indeed, of course, that's something you do right now, and you're able to do from anywhere, which is amazing. So you're essentially looking at people, talking with people, and figuring out if their next best choice is going to be, yeah, also becoming a limitless closer of unifier, and making online money through that. How can you tell if someone is, like you say, ready?
Uh, yeah, during a call like that, you just watch a lot of stuff. Like you like the tonality of how people speak to you. Like you can, if I have my eyes closed and someone is telling me something, I can hear by the tonality if someone is like motivated or not. Like it's just the motivation, the tonality, the urgency. How long has that? How something like that be going on through their mind? Just like
Yeah.
the non-verbal communication, verbal communication. Like you look all of these things, and then you're like, okay, you really want this, don't you? Yeah, yeah, I really want this.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, let's book you a next call then.
Yeah. And like the reason why it's so important to only work with the people that really, really are a match and want it. It's the same reason why Harvard is having such incredible students and results. It's not necessarily about the teachings of Harvard. Of course, they are also amazing. Don't get me wrong, but they choose their students.
Yeah,
They only choose the best potential people to work with or to educate. And if you only work with the best, you're gonna get the best results.
yeah. And that helps amazingly with your track record as a company or as a school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, yeah. You can see what happens with you.
yeah,
Incredible potential, and now we're here in Dubai.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. So yeah, that's mainly what I'm focusing right now. Like being like a Harvard, picking only the best to provide the best, and then soon, I think soon we will optimize that process of the company again,
Yeah,
and then I'll go back to closing again.
totally. Cool. Okay. Okay. I was curious about what is your next goal?
Ah, good question. Um, well, my next goal, I would say, in my last podcast, I said in 224, I want to like come to Dubai and maybe like live here. Now looking at it, that's still on my mind, but now I'm in hesitation with living in South Spain. The reason for that is since being so far away from home, it just like your parents and your family miss you as well. And also we have like the time difference. So when everybody is asleep, you're already working. So you're working like sometimes 16 hours a day. So like looking at the time differences and looking at family, that's not really idealistic. Well, Dubai is a little bit more than Bali. But Spain is like, for example, just a 3-hour flight, so you can just go in the weekend, and it's all fine. So I'm still picking Spain or Dubai, but
Hmm.
I'm going to locate somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. That's your next goal is to really live remotely
Yeah,
in a place where you don't where you're just working like 8 hours or six
yeah,
hours a day or so
yeah. In the sun.
in the sun. Yeah,
That's the
that's
most
good.
important
Yeah.
because we're both flying back to the Netherlands,
Yeah.
and there's no sun there at the moment.
No, that's true. Yeah. I'm only there for like 3 days, but
Ah,
so I think I'll survive 3 days.
yeah. Thanks.
Maybe I have to wear like a couple of kimonos over each other. Too cold.
Kimono here, kimono
Yeah.
there, kimono. Yeah, cool.
So in order for you to reach the goal of being totally free and working remote and living, literally living, because you already work remote, of course, but now you're traveling and working remote, but living remote.
Mhm.
Um, who do you need to become?
Um, a better version of myself.
Okay.
Um, and that goes with writing out some goals and having like more clarity, because what I was doing up until now was I have all the plans in my head, all the plans in my head, but they're just there and they're not on paper. And because they're not on paper, there's no focus on it. So that will help me being a better me. And also like discipline part. That's also because of the writing out the goals and the focus. Because since I didn't have that focus, this whole travel was, I would say, 30% work,
Mm-hmm.
35% work, and 65%, 60% travel.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people wouldn't mind.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't mind. Yeah, but I think it's also a mindset thing. Like I can easily say like, hey, I'm satisfied with the life that I am now, and I know that a lot of people would be. But I have higher goals. I have higher ambitions. I want to achieve greater things and help a lot of people and I don't know, like build water wells in Africa and help poor people and stuff like that. I want to do good things back to the world, like have a positive impact on the world.
It's positive.
It's positive. So, in order to do all that, I need to be a better version of myself, which
Mm.
is like with the discipline, with the writing out things, physically, mentally, financially, everything. Like just be Mr. Positive 2.0.
Okay, cool. Do you think by writing out your goals and everything that's all you need to do, or are there other things or other steps you should take in order for you to become that Mr. Positive 2.0?
Implementing, I would say. Like you can write out goals, but if you're not working or implementing the goals that you've written down,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just a piece of paper and you looking at the paper and the paper looking back at you. Nothing is going to happen.
Totally, totally. I think we have a good quest for that, implementing and committing.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to share a little bit about your commitment journey, what you're willing to do.
Uh, well, yeah, I'm still figuring that one out.
I can imagine. But first of all, like breaking free and living limitless is a choice.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hard.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
It's going to be uncomfortable, totally. But the thing is, like, life is uncomfortable anyway. Literally. So either you choose uncomfortability and the hard way, or you let it choose you.
Mm.
And only one of those is bringing you to the life you want.
Mhm.
So, in order for you to stay committed in those hard times,
Mhm.
we have something that we call a commitment journey, of course, in the Limitless Cell School, where you are performing a ritual. And letting go of the things that you need to let go of in order for you to stay committed to the life you desire. What is it that you need to let go?
I need to let go of enjoying the moment sometimes too much. That can be like traveling too much, sometimes partying, stuff like that, and other things around it. And that would be something that I would need to let go. Like, obviously, you can enjoy sometimes, but sometimes, in my case, it's a little bit unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
So that the unbalanced part is something that I would need to let go if I want to be my better version.
Okay. So actually, like a little bit like letting go of certain desires.
Yeah, like how you do, how you commit to something is how you do anything, is what you always say, or
Yeah. How you do anything is how you do everything.
yeah, how you do anything is how I do everything. So what I was doing was unbalanced sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
which ended up being unbalanced in other parts of life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like for example, business or work.
Yeah.
Like then you're like in a fired up mode for like 1, 2, 3 months, and then the unbalance kicks in, and then your work life goes like, and your travel life and everything just goes unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I would need to like balance that more
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy, but also work and just be better.
Yeah. That's interesting because I think I myself had a recent breakthrough in it, and that was partly because I've been starting to read the Gita,
Mm.
the kind of the Bible, only then for Hinduism.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were saying in the Gita is that desire is the source of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an illustration or story that pointed this out. It was that two brothers were fighting each other and cursing at each other and wishing the one was an elephant and one was a turtle. Like cursing each other for it because they were fighting over the inheritance of their father.
Mm-hmm.
And a bird came along and the bird eated the brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a funny story. It totally is. But there's a lot of depth in it. And the depth is that they were about to receive something, but because of desire, they couldn't receive it, but wanted to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the evil is coming from. If we're desiring things, then we kind of transform in a way.
Guys, there is one thing that you should know about me and Daan. Daan is super spiritual, and I'm like super down to earth. Sometimes he comes with these examples. He comes like, yeah, I read something about the Buddha and the turtle and the brothers and the elephants and the birds. And I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to say, Daan? I don't understand it. He's like, it's okay. You just put it in understandable words for me. It's like, okay. That's why we two work so good together.
Exactly, but always you seem to do understand it and being able to make it practical.
I'm like sometimes your Google Translate.
And I'm like, do you understand it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, awesome.
Like every time you start talking about something spiritual, I'm like, oh no, there we go again.
Yeah, that's funny because like I think especially I was always a little bit wavy sometimes, but I think after Bali it's gotten more.
Yeah, I think everybody who knows you was scared of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, I think it's a good thing. Like I think that's one of your inner peace things to be like that. Like, and everyone has his own inner peace. Like, I always make jokes about a part of your spirituality and your examples, but I do understand them. So
Yeah.
just not the way that I would put it. But I mean, if that's your inner peace, that's good. Like, everyone has his own inner peace. Like, for me, that can be praying. For you, that can be talking about elephants and turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
And waving around in a kimono.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, like, honestly, about the elephant and the turtles, I think I still believe is such a interesting way to understand where evil is coming from. Because you just said, like, that money...
Yeah, money is the root of evil. They
Yeah,
say
but what's money?
desire.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because why do you want money? Yeah, probably desire to get status, to get girls, to get something, right? Instead of receiving something.
yeah.
So what I did is I had a pretty interesting week. I had a very, very, very stressful week.
Ooh,
Yeah, and there's like always when you have some stress, like there's always multiple things going on, right? It's never one thing.
yeah.
But let's focus on one thing. What happened was I should have gotten my passport 2 weeks ago, back from the visa.
Ooh.
But Sunday evening, passport didn't come. So I was pretty stressed about it because the guy wasn't reacting anymore. And like when you're at Bali, you kind of need your passport to get back home. I can tell you that much. So I was feeling very stressed. And I was like, you know what? I have no desire. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this all the way. Like I'm gonna accept all of this stress as much as I can. So I decided to do a fast.
Ah, is that why you started the fasting?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. To give me as much stress and kind of pain to accept everything and grow from it, right? So I started fasting from Sunday evening at around 10. So multiple things happened along the week, but I was fasting at Wednesday then for 3 days. And what happened? Well, we had a group coaching, right? So in the group coaching, I got a call, remember?
Uh-huh.
The ambassade of Bali calls me, says, your passport is not ready today. And I'm flying yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like furious, right? I've been fasting for, at that moment, about 60 hours. Being like in that amount of stress. Doing a group coaching. And I get to hear that my passport is not coming that day. And I have to rearrange this podcast. I have to reset my flight and everything, right? So I'm like, stepping out of the group coaching for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm saying like, dude, I need my passport today, right? And I said that, he said, okay, I'm gonna try to fix it. And I continued the group coaching.
Like nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
The most stressful call ever.
I swear, bro, I was so freaking stressed. But I was like, okay, I can give attention to this right now and be like, oh, guys, my passport, this and that. But that's not gonna serve anyone. So what I did, I kept it all for myself at that moment and just continued the group coaching. I can tell you, it was a fucking good group coaching.
It was, yeah.
So that happened. And then after the group coaching, I started calling him again and he still said, yeah, we can't fix it. I kept on, okay, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be fixed. It's gonna be fixed. I believe in it. I believe in it. Like, you have to reset your flight and everything. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna fly tonight. It doesn't matter what happens. Another guy calls me, also says it's not gonna work tonight. I'm like, right, I'm going to the airport right now and I'm flying tonight, no matter what. So I grab my stuff, going to the airport. Dude says, okay, I'm gonna try to fix it. I arrive at the airport at 8 a.m. in the evening, and I have to like board on 11. He doesn't respond.
Hmm.
He doesn't respond for over 2 hours that I'm there at the airport.
Yeah.
Being totally like now in a 74-hour fast. Like in the most stressed level that you can be, right? What I did, I just sat down. Like, I can't change anything about this, just sit and wait. What I did, I went to the praying chamber.
Oh, like the Islamic one.
Yeah.
Muslim. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've sent that one to the other Daan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Oh.
said like, hey, there's a praying room here on this airport.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was like, yeah, I can be crazy, but you know what? I'm just gonna do a prayer. And first, I just prayed for gratefulness, being totally grateful for being allowed to receive all of this stress, because I know that the journey is the destination, and all of this is only making me stronger.
That's also what we always say in Islam, man. We say you always got to say Alhamdulillah, or translated, thanks God,
Uh-huh.
whatever good or bad happens, because
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason, and everything will help you
Yeah.
grow stronger, or maybe after bad comes good, after good comes bad. But in the end, it's all planned out, and it's
Yeah.
probably beneficial for your life.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's beautiful, and that's exactly what I felt and how I perceived everything. And then I did something I normally don't, but I made a request, an ask. And I actually never do that. I'll do a lot of gratefulness and everything, but I don't normally ask anything. But I asked,
Mm.
and I asked, can I please get my passport? I really want to do this podcast. And I really want to just do my flight home and everything, right? So I ask, and I go back upstairs, and you don't believe it. 15 minutes later, the guy comes walking. Hey, yeah, I fixed it.
That's crazy.
Seriously, bro. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, what the fuck? Like 15 minutes. I've been stressed for 5 continuous days, like over 4 days, whatever. Out of my freaking mind.
Yeah.
I make one request. And what you will ask, you shall receive.
Yeah.
Insane.
That's
So,
crazy.
what happens after that? I fixed my passport and everything. Amazing. I'm happy, but I'm kind of. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit tired.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I haven't eaten for 76 hours now.
Yeah.
That's like over the recommended limit and everything, and whatever, right? I was like, I'm doing a limitless fast. Let's just do it, right? So I start to onboard the plane, and a couple hours in the plane, I'm like, the food comes. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm flying with Emirates, and
Ah, good food.
yeah, like I had seldom that I had such problem with controlling my own mind, like almost never. But the food came, and I was like, oh, this is so hard. This is so hard. This is so hard. I haven't eaten for 78 hours, and I get free or paid in whatever fruit from Emirates, right? Being in front of me. I was like, no, I have no desire. I got this. Like, I let it go. I do order a plate because I want to give the guy next to me, and I set it in front of me. I just looked at it. I didn't eat. I didn't eat. I just looked at it and was like, no. I choose not to have any desire, and I choose to overcome every limitation. I think that was really, really powerful. But that's something funny happened. Because, listen, I think I was like, okay, now I'm gonna sleep, right? But I noticed that I was in such a high stress state. I don't think I've ever sat in such a high stress state. And I think it was because the entire week haven't eaten for 78 hours, and being in a plane. Apparently that, and maybe my food as well, like whatever.
A lot of things happening.
Yeah, exactly. But so I couldn't sleep. So I was turning on a movie, watching a movie, nice and everything. And like 1 hour in a movie, I was starting to get really dizzy. Like really dizzy. I was like, okay, maybe I need to eat. I was like, no worries, right? No worries. I just go sleep, because if I faint, I sleep. That's better, right? So this is what happens. I'm gonna sleep, so I'm falling asleep. I think so. And then one time, I just got waken up by the guy next to me. Like, are you okay? Are you okay? I fucking had a seizure in the plane. Like,
What? That's crazy.
yeah, really. I really had a seizure in the plane. So probably what happened, I just put myself in too much stress, so to say. So after the seizure, I was like, okay, now I need to eat something. And the guy gave me Kit Kat, and I started eating everything. And I got back to normal and everything, which was good and very interesting to happen. But that was a very, very interesting flight. And I kind of pushed myself until I couldn't anymore.
Mm.
And I believe I wouldn't recommend this, by the way. I would definitely.
I wanted to say the same.
Not
Just for the record, guys, don't try
recommend
this at home or anywhere.
Don't try this at home or the plane or never, actually, please. Definitely not. But I did put it myself through the most amount of stress I could give myself. And because I was ready to take it, I feel so much stronger now.
Do you think that helped you extend your limit?
Yeah, totally.
Like, okay, we always say limitless, but with stuff like that, obviously you're a little bit limited. Like, it's normal to have food and it's not necessary.
Uh-huh.
But do you think that you can say that you have evolved in your limitless level on this because of this experience?
100%. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Being, especially like the hardest part was really saying no to the food, honestly. Like after those 74 hours in the plane, Emirates, not like for me, I don't know, maybe I've experienced it was so hard. But choosing not to eat at that moment, I was like, okay, now, now I don't know, like I just got everything, no worries. Yeah.
Yeah, they have something with Dragon Ball Z. You know, I'm an anime fan. Like one of the characters of Goku, it's called like limit breaking Saiyan,
Oh, okay, cool.
because he also pushes himself like until he can't anymore, and at that point he reaches like the limit breaking version of that level that he's in. So he instantly becomes like 10 times stronger.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
So you went
Well, it
to-
feels like that, yeah.
Yeah, you went like to a limit breaking stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so good to break limits, honestly. Like, so well, because you feel so confident after you do it.
Yeah.
And you just literally become more limitless.
Yeah.
Because it's not a matter of like, are you limitless, yes or no? It's a matter of how limitless are you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Cool. What are... I'm curious about Limitless and Limitless Cell. Why did you choose the Limitless Cell school to provide value for and work together with, as opposed to anyone else?
Because I stand behind it. Like I agree with it. It's you know, it's everybody says that obviously, but you don't realize it until you're, I think, in that life. A lot of people want to change their life. Like they want to build a business, they want to do this, they want to do that, but mentally and like mindset, they are not there. Like they want to do it, but they are not there. And honestly, sometimes or most of the time, depends on how I feel. I'm sometimes still not there mentally. And Limitless School really goes into that mental aspect and mindset aspect as well. Like write out your goals, write out your commitments, write out your daily routine, your evening routine. Like it goes very detailed in it that you basically can't miss. And once you have figured and structured that part, doesn't matter what you do in life. Like wherever you go in e-com, in sales, in high ticket closing, in appointment setting, whatever, everything just becomes easier because you have everything structured out. And that's one key difference that Limitless School does. Like really go into that mental aspect before going into learning how to high ticket close or learning how to appointment set or whatever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, well, beautiful that you mentioned that in the because I totally believe that that's like I said in the last group coaching is I believe it's 88-12%. Like 88% is everything that's in here, and 12% is the environment, everything where you're in. And I used the example of I can be in a museum looking at turtles and elephants and get life-changing thoughts.
There we go again, guys.
I can literally figure out the reason of life and find out that desire is the sense of all evil, right?
And I'm like, what a cute turtle.
Exactly. But that has nothing to do with the museum. That has everything to do with what's in here.
Yeah.
So if we can level up our consciousness, our mind, then we can perceive every opportunity better.
Yeah. It's literally like that. Like you want to learn sales, you need to be ready here first. And especially with sales, like sales is transference of energy. If your energy is all over the place and you have like a low energy, you're not going to sell anything. Whether it's the best offer, the best product in the world, you're not going to sell anything.
Yeah.
Marketing is a lot of creativity and testing at the same time. If you're unclear here, then you're not going to be a successful marketeer.
Yeah.
So it's like it all starts here, man.
Yeah. 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 Totally. Yeah. I was thinking, by the way, I saw the Red Bull. I literally slept on this plane 1.5 hours.
Power nap.
Yeah, power nap. Exactly.
Ish.
Exactly. So I'm very grateful that you got a Red Bull for me because I'm sharp now, but I wasn't before.
Before he was having a seizure.
That's the truth.
It's not a good thing to joke about, honestly, but
Well, that's also kind of the definition of being limitless. Like having a seizure a couple hours ago, doing a podcast right now. Like
limitless jokes.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to ask one more question. What I'm very curious to is we know each other for about 9 to 10 months right now.
Yes.
We already spoken a couple of times about you've had an incredible transformation as well. Like honestly, just like a different person. What has been the biggest point for you for growth?
The mindset, man. Like willing to take different steps to get different results. Take more responsibility, like honest responsibility for my actions. Put aside my ego, my pride sometimes, and look at things from a neutral and analyzing perspective, which ends up meaning having like personal growth. Like as you know, sometimes we had like pretty hard discussions in our call, like fire to fire. And like 5 minutes after our call, I was like, fuck, he's actually right. All of that helped like in the transformation as especially me as a person. And that reflected in my business a lot of times as well. Like my sales numbers grew, my unifying with people, understanding of other people, having like better conversations with people. more empathy, all of that grew. Like I became a better person.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How do you feel opposed to 10 months ago?
Good, but not satisfied. Because now I've been in this journey, I just know like there's so much more in life to achieve and to do. So I'm still having the feeling that it's just the beginning.
Okay.
Okay.
Just for, because we definitely will gonna do a podcast, another podcast. So I'm curious about your spectrum of being limitless. How limitless do you believe you are right now on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 is being totally limited, like not like totally stuck
Mm.
in your mind, location, and finances.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 is literally limitless, like being able to do anything, like fully.
Um, I think I would say a 5. Yeah, I think I would say 5. Um, because sometimes I'm still limited by time or time zones, to put it like that. I'm not limited anymore as much as in location. Um, I'm sometimes still limited by my mindset, as in discipline and making better choices or choices that I should done. Sometimes limited still by some of my fears, like afraid of heights. That's one of the fears that I try every time to overcome, but sometimes it just like crashes back into my face, and I'm like, oh no, fuck it, not now. So I would say 5. I would say there are still a lot of limitations to break, but at the same time, I can also say that I've already broke some limits.
Okay, cool. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now?
That's a difficult question to answer because, as in the state of where I'm now, I would say a 7 or a 8. And the reason for that is because I don't know what other limitations I will find out once I get to that point. So obviously everyone would be like, yeah, a 10. But I don't know how realistic a 10 is
Yeah.
looking at all the limitations right now or all the possible limitations that I'm not even aware of right now.
Yeah.
So I would say a 7 or a 8. 7. I would say 7 to be like humble.
Okay. Cool. I think that's a good one. I mean, like, the more limitless we get, the more we know, the less we understand we don't know anything, or we understand that we still have a lot of limitations. Okay, cool. I think there's, we've had a beautiful conversation here. If you could give one, yeah, just give one thing to the people that are watching right now, what would you want to give them?
Well, giving them just one thing, that's difficult. Can I give 2 things?
Well,
Well, the one I already said it like a couple of times. Like, if you want a different life, you need to make different choices. If you keep making the same choices, you will have the same life. It's not like rocket science. It's if you do every day 1 + 1 is 2, it will not suddenly change into 1 + 1 is 4. So you need to change the 1 to a 2 and change the other 1 to a 2. Then it's like 2 + 2 is 4, you know? Simply said. And the other one is seek discomfort.
don't get into a seizure.
Not until the end that you get in a seizure, obviously. But we all know that best example, going through a heartbreak. It's one of the most painful and most discomfortable periods that people can go through.
Totally.
And what happens is that people change and transform the most in that period of time. Like their whole character, their whole personality changes. So seek discomfort. Do stuff what you don't like to do, because that will help you to grow and be a different person and to level up in your life, whether it's financially, mentally, you name it.
Yeah, totally. Because if you seek the uncomfortability, then that's the only way you can grow.
Yeah.
Because then you're doing the things that you haven't done before. So it kind of comes together, your 2 points,
Yeah.
which is great. Cool.
What would you give them?
What did I give them?
One.
Well,
I already chose two, so you get to choose one.
I would just honestly always at this moment, I would say clarity. Like, you can only start building the life that you truly want if you have clarity on it, if you know what you want. It doesn't matter how hard you row in a boat, how long you try. If you don't know where the fuck you're going, all of the energy is for nothing. And it would be a freaking shame to spend your entire life climbing a mountain, realizing at the top is the wrong mountain.
Yeah. Or do you remember the example I gave yesterday? Like, you're not going into a bus if you don't know where the bus is going. Like, you go in a bus to go to Central Station or go
Yeah.
to a certain stop, but you don't enter a bus and like, hey, let's see where the bus goes.
Exactly, and I'm like, I enjoyed the bus ride, but like now I'm not nowhere near where I wanted to be, right? So, and for me, that started with asking the right questions. Um, I've loved these questions in the Limitless Command Center, a template, but just start visualizing like what do you want your life to look like in 8 years? What do you want it to be in 4 years? What do you want to be doing every day? And make a vision board out of it. If you make a vision board, you really can start seeing it, plant it on your wall or on top of your roof when you wake up. You're like, oh yeah, that's where I'm going. And by knowing and having the clarity, you'll start living the life of your dreams instead of only dreaming it.